It does, however, come with the title doctor, which I think that I may, in fact, get used to. On the way over here this evening, I was in the car and I called my mother in Newfoundland and I told her I was on my way to the Chan Center to talk to the students at UBC, and I told her how excited I was, and she asked me, she said, Rick, do you believe that getting an honorary doctorate will change you? And I said, no, of course, Mom, of course it won't change me, but it's Dr. Mercer now. So my job today, with the power invested in me as a doctor, is not to ask you to turn your head and cough, which I thought was the initial assignment, but to congratulate you on this great achievement and inspire you in 5 minutes or less. They made a big point of saying that time and time again, can you do this in 5 minutes or less? I think perhaps I have a reputation of not shutting up. But I can do a lot of things in 5 minutes or less. Every week on my show, I rant. That's what I do. I rant, and I rant for 2 minutes or less. It's my favorite 2 minutes of the week. It's how I keep sane. Anger is my cardio. On television, I rant about lots of different subjects. Sometimes I rant about why I think the government is wrong. Other times I rant about why I think the government is doing something wrong. I never run out of material, but sometimes I forget the government and I just rant about what I think is great about this country. And if that was my job here today, if I was asked to come here and talk about what was great about this country and why the future of this country is so bright, I don't think I would rant at all. I think I would simply stand here and I would point at you. Because honestly, looking down at each and every one of you, I don't want this to go to your heads, but you're a good-looking bunch. It turns out the future is not bright, it's hot, too. And each and every one of you, believe me when I say this, is a huge inspiration, because we know that nobody graduating today has done so without a lot of hard work, sacrifice, talent, and dedication, other than me. So while I won't presume to inspire you, I will, with your indulgence, I'll talk to you for a little bit about what inspires me, because that happens to be my work. And I figure that that may be appropriate, because I figure there may be some of you at this point in your life are thinking that for the first time you might actually have to go out and get a real job. Apparently you are, because the people back there are nodding. And they're still nodding. Well, the cliche is, if you figure out what it is that you love and then you figure out how to make a living at it, then you will be happy. And it's absolutely true. If you can go to work every Monday morning and you're happy, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you've won the lotto. Unless, of course, you want to write poetry, which is ridiculous. You won't make a living at that. You'll have to do that on the weekends. But for most of you, because we live in this great country, and because we have so many great opportunities, and because you've just graduated from one of the best schools in the country, you will absolutely have a career that you love. And the reason why I love my career, the reason why I love my job, is because every single week I get to travel to a different part of the country. I get to go on another adventure. I get to meet new people. Every single week, I fall more and more in love with the place. And if I had one wish for you, that would be it. I would wish that you would get to know Canada. We are a very large country. It is the biggest problem we have as a country. We are huge. It makes it, how should I say this delicately, it makes it very difficult to be intimate with Canada. If you go to any major city in this country and you want to fly to Arizona or Florida, it's cheaper to do that than to fly 2 provinces over. It is cheaper to fly from Vancouver to Paris, France, than from Vancouver to St. John's, Newfoundland. It is cheaper to fly to the moon than it is to fly to Iqaluit. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but you get my point. As a result, because of our vast size, so many Canadians don't get to experience what it is their country has to offer them. And that is a problem, because we live in a country where national unity can never be taken for granted, and national unity can never be guaranteed. And there have always been regional differences in this country. There always will be regional differences in this country. But too often these days, those regional differences are being used to pit Canadians against one another, region against region, east against west, rural versus urban, gay versus straight, educated elites, which would now be you, versus members of parliament. Suddenly, the idea of nation building has become passé. Now, this may help certain people get elected, but it's putting the entire country at risk, and this is where you come in, because it is your job as young Canadians to put a stop to that. If I ask you anything, I ask you to make a point of visiting and working in every single part of this country. If you do that, you will never regret it, because the knowledge and the experience that comes with that will deliver a pride of ownership that will never disappear. If you see the Northern Lights, if you see the Bay of Fundy, if you explore the Parliament buildings, if you eat raw caribou in Nunavut, if you march the Eastern Trail, if you dip your feet in the North Atlantic, it is an experience that will make you better citizens, and it will make for a better country. So that is my advice to you, the graduating class of 2010, as you go forward on this journey of life, please get intimate with Canada. And of course, as with any intimate relationship, be safe. And by safe, I mean always carry a second government-issue photo ID in your luggage in case some hoser steals your wallet or purse and you have to get on a flight the next day. Once again, it is a huge honor to graduate with you. Thank you very much. Dr. Mercer out.
Thank you, Dr. Mercer.